Do you want to be completely free? I'm sure everyone wants to be free. Everyone wants to feel that they can just be who they are and will be accepted. That is freedom. They want to know that they won't be criticized for who they are. They want to feel that if they are just themselves, they are loved. They want to feel they can make choices and they won't be criticized and they won't be hindered by things like a lack of resources. We all want to be free. So freedom is very much connected to self-acceptance and acceptance by others. It is also connected to not having that feeling of being forced to do things that does not resonate with you. Freedom is something that gives you a feeling of omnipotence, of ecstasy, of peace. Freedom is one of the most wonderful things that you can experience. But I'm here today to tell you that you already are completely free. And we will look at why I say so. Thank you for tuning in. You are very welcome here if you are a returning subscriber. I see you and I appreciate you so much. I want to show you this painting that I did of a woman standing with her hands tied behind her back. She's standing in the water surrounded by blue and white water lilies, and there are some arches of a building which is a temple that she's facing. The mood is calm, and I will explain why I use this to talk about freedom. If you look at the painting, you might think this is something about sexuality, but that is just the surface. It is about being free, although it does not seem so, because actually the painting is an expression of being free. It might seem like a paradox, but it is in this moment where this woman is standing completely still between these beautiful flowers, which we know are sacred symbols. The blue lotus specifically is an indicator of spirit that transcends the material world, the spirit that triumphs, the lily that grows from the mud and opens at the same time as when the sun rises, which in Egyptian times was worshipped as Ra. So what might seem like a paradox is that her hands are tied. But it is this part of the image that actually demonstrates something powerful. There's a verse in the Bible: "Be still and know that I am God." Now, I don't use the word God a lot in my videos because there is unfortunately many connotations from different cultures to the word, and when we use the word, the image of, say, an old man on a throne comes up for some, or whatever the image in the mind is of the person, depending on the culture of God. But we can neutralize this word if we know that I am is God, because God said, I am what I am. It is in that sense that I want you to think of the word God, of the all-knowing, omnipotent force that does not exist because it brought everything into existence. It is outside of time and space. So I'm using the verse from the Bible, and like with many religious texts, you should use your own discernment. Not because there is perhaps something that you should examine and don't want to examine, but because of how you intuitively will receive the messages. Always trust yourself. If I say something, trust yourself. Measure what I say against how you feel. Trust your own intuition. You are on this path and you have everything inside you to guide you and to bring you to what will awaken you more and more. So as we awaken, the universe awakens to itself also. As you awaken in me something. And there is a point when we can say, I am fully awakened. It is like a flower that blooms and slowly opens. There's a point you will reach, if you have not yet, where you do not only understand this, you do not only know this in your bones, in every aspect of your being, but there's a point where you will be it. Because there is still a separation, there is still something that was not integrated or made light when we experience ourselves as separate from God. But when you are fully enlightened, when you become enlightened, you are the light of source. You don't just know it, you become it, you are it. So why did I show you the painting, and why did I quote the verse, "Be still and know I'm God"? Because I went to the beach today to get clarity, to get to the core of the message that wants to come to you. As I was standing in the water, I closed my eyes, and within seconds there was an eagle right in front of my face shouting at me. I don't know how to describe their sound. Shouting very loud, and I opened my eyes. So the eagle is a symbol of the freedom of spirit, of the elevation of spirit, of enlightenment. You will always see the eagle used as a symbol for freedom. And this was basically what he shouted at me. You are free. Much later, about an hour later, I was brought back to the same realization when I again stood in the water and closed my eyes, and very clearly I heard the words, "Open your eyes." Now, I tend to meditate with closed eyes mostly when I want to go really deep. But I have started to experience that more and more Source has led me to be in that state with open eyes. And when that was said to me, what I saw was the movement of the water. I saw the movement of the water and the sand, the waves, there were birds flying, the clouds were moving. Everything was moving like life is, like the cycles of life. I just experienced this life movement, and heard, "Be still. Be still," like the verse, like the woman standing with her hands tied behind her back, not doing anything, not trying to be the one doing. So I lay down on the sand. And it is then when I saw the beautiful crescent moon in the sky and the clouds. And then I started to see the sun glistening on particles in the sky. I know you can see little movements that are on the surface of your eyeball. It was not that, because that I could still see. It was particles, and they were silver shining. Everything was still, and my body was light. And as I looked to the sides, there was nobody else on the beach. Where just before, there were quite a few people walking their dogs. There was nobody on the beach. Source is telling you to be still. Be still, to be able to experience, to know who you are, to know you are free, to discover that that is your way of being, because you are everything. When you become still and just observe, the mind is not interfering, then use these sharpened senses of you. Just relax into that, to experience the sounds and the feeling of the wind and the feeling of life. Don't speak, don't interact, otherwise than engaging your senses to receive without judging. Just experience everything that is. It is important for you to take these times to become silent, so that you can know and meet yourself more and more, till you can walk this earth knowing exactly who you are, not reacting to things in the 3D, but becoming the magnet, because you are demonstrating this freedom that is love. So the stillness is the answer, because the stillness is God. The stillness is you. You are 99.999% empty space, the space where energy moves. They say if you would take the solid part of all humans and put it together, all humans on earth, it will be the size of a sugar cube. But now we look as if we are solid, but we are space. And the space and the stillness is synonymous. That is why if you connect with the space inside of you, with the stillness, almost nothingness, when you connect with that, you connect with the biggest part of you. And that is Source. Source is the nothingness from which everything flows that we see, and even the things that we can't see, because we can't even see all the colors. If you move from dense material, and you go from mineral life to plants, to animals, to people, and you start to look at the spirit and experience your own spirit, that freedom becomes apparent to you. But let's talk more about, don't stop with your spirit. It goes beyond, where you are connected to the higher self, to the oversoul, if we have to give labels and names. But if you go higher and higher, if you go more and more to even abstract, to the place where space and stillness becomes more and more, you come to a place where there are still sound and light. But if you go beyond sound and light, where we would say there is nothing, you will still find, and you will find, I would say, the biggest part, if I have to put it like that, of source. Because we can't imagine that, we can't describe it with words. That is why I am almost struggling to do it, because words are not enough. That is why you get artists to paint, and you write poetry, and you dance, and you do everything to try and describe the beauty that you see. But it's never enough, because we don't have, on this dimension and even on higher dimensions, enough tools, enough to describe the great I am, to describe source, which we can feel. But we know and we experience them, I'm going to say, because it's not him or her. There are no words. And we can read a beautiful poem, and we can cry, and we can laugh and dance and have all these wonderful emotions, feeling that we're alive, experiencing the fullness of life if we realize we are infinite and we are part of everything. Our life becomes beautiful, but we can't fully describe, figure it out. Like the lily that comes from the mud and opens to the sun, or just like the sun. When you are transcending the material world through connecting with your spirit, through moving from your heart, then you start to experience more of source. It is also then when we experience this freedom. So be still. Be God. Be still and know it in your being. Be that wisdom that you are. I am. I am the bird. I am the water. I am the lily. I am the energy. I am the sun. I am you. I am God. Be still and know I am God. You are completely free, like everything that is. You are completely free, expressing yourself as this perspective at this moment. You are even free in this now to transcend what you are and visit other aspects of you and experience other perspectives while you are still in this body. As I've explained in the previous video, please check that out. You can shift your consciousness. Why can you do it? Because you are free. You are everything. Believing is seeing. You are free. The things that we think we have to do to experience this freedom, the actions we think we have to take, are just stories we are telling ourselves if we don't have the courage to believe, to surrender. I've made a statement that was very well received by the community when I said bravery is the fastest way to enlightenment. Because that is how I experienced it. Be brave. There's nothing that can happen. There's nothing to fear. Be brave by listening to your inner voice, to yourself, by surrendering, and the universe will show you your worth. The universe will shower you with everything that you need to feel to experience this freedom. And it can be material things. But it is something far greater than that also. It is the realization of who you are. The experience of that. So the woman standing with her hands tied behind her back can do nothing. She's just observing, being surrounded by the lilies. That is a metaphor for spiritual enlightenment. She is completely free. Thank you for listening. Please say hi in the comments. Let me know how it resonated, how you are doing. And I'm sending you my infinite love. Till I speak to you again in the next video. Goodbye.